we're calling it the Backyard Boogie Down, but you can call it whatever you want to, right? But this is just a social event for you to sell your book. So first, you are Hi, I'm Michelle Hardy, and today I wanted to talk to you about how you can have a backyard boogie down, basically a barbecue or some type of social event in your backyard, but you can also make a profit from your product. And so my product would be books, but just insert your product where I talk about books. We're talking about a pop up event, somewhere where you know you have space and room to invite at least 15 to 20 people. So, some people have the space in their home or backyard. If you don't, maybe you'll have this at a different location than your home, right? Maybe a friend has a home this size where it can handle those many people at that capacity, right? So we're calling it the Backyard Boogie Down, but you can call it whatever you want to, right? But this is just a social event for you to sell your book. So first, you are going to start marketing this event on social media. If you want it to be an intimate event, meaning only the people that you know and your friend knows, because if it's at your friend's house, they may need to know everyone who's coming. So if they're comfortable with who you invite and they invite some people, then that's a small group of people. If it's at a public location, then you may want to open it up to more people and just make the invite a little broader. Like I said, opening it up to your social media following and limiting the number of people, because you want to make sure that you are able to accommodate the amount of people, at least 10% of the people that come with your product or your book. So, when you are marketing this event, make sure that you are giving the date, the time, and the location, and that you start on time. You want to be known for doing things timely and professionally. And make sure that if you have colors that you really want to show off, make sure those colors are in your marketing materials online so that when they get to the event, everything matches up, it's in alignment with what you said, and everybody's going to be happy. Now, let's talk about pricing for your pop up backyard boogie down. So, this is an event where you're just going to be hosting a certain amount of people, but they're also going to be able to buy your product. So you want to make sure that your product is appropriate. The pricing of your product is appropriate. So your book may be pricing it at $15 or less. Now, this is only if your cost of your book maybe is like $8 or less. So, this is just an example. You may have products that are higher priced than that. But this is, like I said, only an example. But this is a social event. It's more personable, it's a smaller group of people, and you want them to purchase your book, right? Or your product. So keeping the price relatively low, right? If it's already priced that way, that's perfect. You are going to make the profit that you need to make off of your book or your product, right? But also, when you do this event, invite your friend to host or have a product as well, but a non competing product. I've said this in other videos, but make sure that they are not selling a book, but they have a product that they can sell as well to the people attending the event. So, for example, you're selling a book, maybe they make bookmarks. They might make jewelry for the books. They might make jewelry. They might costume jewelry. It might be a paparazzi person, right? Someone who sells paparazzi. It may be someone who sells intimate wear or makeup or something like that, right? So you could have all these products and they could all be around beauty, maybe, you know, and then each vendor, each person would have their product and it would go with the entire theme of the event. So this is something that you really want to think about is like coordinating with each person, making sure that you know that they are not competing with your book or your product. Also, you want to have them to be mindful to stay $15 or less so that the attendees don't feel like, oh my God, I got to have a lot of money to go to this backyard event, right? So you want them to purchase, and you want them to purchase from everyone or the majority of the vendors there. You want everyone to be patronized. And if the prices are just too high, then people are really hesitant to even purchase later on. So if you give them an opportunity to go to your website and purchase later, they may not want to do that because the price is just too high. But if they feel like it's low enough, hey, I can buy something from this person and also this person as well. When you host an event like, pop up or backyard boogie down, you want to make sure you have a way to accept money. Not only cash, but most people are doing these apps that are give you the ability to take money. So, you have PayPal, you have Square, Cash App, Zelle. There's all these different ways to receive money, and you want to be able to receive it whatever way they can give it to you. So, look into every way where it doesn't cost you a lot, like PayPal. It's just a matter of setting up the account. Cash App, the same thing. Zelle is usually tied to a bank account, right? And Venmo, same thing. Not going to cost you anything until you have an actual purchase of some type. Then there might be a small fee, but you're going to have the majority of the money. So have a way of receiving money. When you have this pop up, this backyard boogie down, you are going to have an interactive booth so that people can, purchase your product, but they are interacting with you or you give them something to do. So, you may have them spin a wheel to win a prize or a raffle, some type of giveaway. There's QR codes so that it goes directly to all of your contact information in your social media. You want to make sure that if you are not able to interact, there are things for them to do to make them feel welcome in the little space that you've created at this tiny event. So it can be just a matter of doing things. If it's at someone's house, you can have them do like a scavenger hunt or something like that, where you've hidden things around the property and you've given them clues. And then once they bring back whatever it is that you said for them to bring back, then they get a prize. But this is all ties into your book, your product, right? So it may be that your book is about gardening and you have plants that are at your friend's house, so in the book, so you want them to go find those plants, right? So just an example, and then they may take a picture and then bring that back to you and show you, hey, I found the plant, yay, you win a prize, right? And it doesn't have to be an elaborate prize, right? It can be just something that you put together that's small and tiny. It can be candy. It can be, just little tiny things. Sometimes I would give out things that were like 50 cents, at events, but something to make them feel like, oh, I won, right? So just think about that you want it to be as interactive and give people something to do and reward them when they do it. At pop ups, you will meet people that will have opportunities for you to present your book or your product at other events. They host events as well where they have vendors come and present their products or are able to sell their products. or speaking opportunities. And so when you are talking to people at your booth, you want to make sure that you let them know that. You want to have maybe with your QR code where it gives your information to contact you because you're available, right? So when they scan the QR code, it goes directly to you, contact for events, right? And then you maybe have a page that can be filled out, just a little application or what have you, right? I mean, or just an email to that, they can reach you. But you want to let them know that you're open to other opportunities like this one that they're at now, right? Because you never know who's at an event. At this pop up Backyard Boogie Down, you want to make sure that you get the information from each customer that you meet, especially someone that patronizes you, right? Get their email or their phone number, and you don't want to spam them or anything like that. But you want to give them opportunities to purchase other things that you have down the line. So if you have their information, you can make them aware of that, maybe once a month opportunities, or if you write a book, right, every so often, they'll know when the book comes out, and then they'll have an opportunity to purchase it before anyone else. So make sure that you get some information on them. If they don't want to give up their information, connect with them on social media and just reach out and be intentional and personable, because you don't want to come off as salesy and that's all that you want them to do is buy. You really want to get to know people so that they continue to come back and purchase from you over and over and over. At your backyard boogie down or pop up event, make sure that you have a swag bag. Now, this may seem like elaborate or, just too much for a small event for like 20 people. But, people love taking away things. So, a way to do this where it's not a major expense for you is you go in together with all the other vendors that are there for this pop up. Because, if there's 20 people coming, 20 guests that have been invited, and maybe there's five vendors, you all can get together and get bags, a swag bag, and then each of you put an item inside the bag. And that's the takeaway, right? Maybe it's a candle, maybe it's a small little, pair of earrings that didn't cost hardly anything, right? They came in a bulk package with a lot of earrings. So just something, chapstick, gum, tissue, those types of things, right? Candles, just there's so many different things that you can put in swag bags, but, making it as fancy as possible, maybe decorating the bags is a great idea as well. Or if you can get some in bulk that are really nice, elegant. I always like to have things be elegant because that's perfect. People feel like they have value when things look luxurious. So just keep this in mind that you do want the people to take away something from the event, even if they didn't purchase anything, but they know about you now. And then whatever you put in that bag, they are going to look through that bag later, right? And they are going to look you up, right? And so, if they can't patronize you now, later on, 6 months down the road, you might hear from them like, hey, I was at the event, but I couldn't do it. But now I'd really like to purchase your book, your product, your item. So don't discount a swag bag and go in as a group with all the other vendors at the event to make sure that it's as nice as possible. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Take care.